This is true transformative fitness. And you already know what you're looking at. That's right. That's Thor's hammer. I'm about to take you through a full body workout using this unique tool. As you see me clowning around with the weight, um, this tool actually weighs approximately 14 pounds right now. The head of it can come off and you can feel it. So right now it's filled up with sand. So you can fill it up with any kind of I usually fill it up with pennies, but I've been using training my clients with it lately. So I filled it up with sand, so it weighs approximately 14 pounds. Um so we about to get into this workout. It's flexibility base, strength base, cardiovascular base, and it just makes you functional all around. So we're going to start off with the legs, of course. So we're going to start off with the split squat, working each leg bilaterally. We're going to do 2 sets of 10 repetitions on each leg, holding the hammer out, extending it out the whole time. Paying attention to your form, making sure that you have good posture, and making sure that you're not locking out the knee at the top of that movement, because locking out the knee puts pressure on the knee. So because we want to develop our quadriceps, we want to keep the tension on the quads. So as you see me demonstrating, um, I'm coming up with my knee halfway bent, which guarantees that the tension is in the quad and it stays on the quad. And this movement is an excellent warm up. Warming up the whole upper body and lower body, because extending that hammer out and holding it in place like that at eye level, basically, along with lunging up and down, is very taxing. So your heart rate should be between the 140s and 160s. And as I'm demonstrating, rest time is very minimal, because we want to keep the heart rate up to drive adaptation, to really challenge the body to change, both physically and from a cardiovascular standpoint. So now we're starting off with set two. Once again, to reiterate, 10 repetitions on each leg independently, strengthening each leg, because you want to start off with the weakest leg. So if your left leg is your weakest, start off with that one. Do not start off with the strong side, because that's just going to make everything that much more difficult. So if you have more energy and you start off on the weak side of your body, by the time we get to the right side, you're not going to have any stabilization issues, and you'll be confident ending that movement on the strong side. So as you see, I'm finishing this up, continuing practicing what I'm preaching, holding that posture in place, and making sure I'm activating all the muscle tissue. So now, since this engine is warmed up, you already know it's probably time to lift that hood up. Yep, it's time for the hood to come off, so we can see all these engine parts working underneath this hood. You understand? So, I can illustrate what muscle groups we're targeting, and you can see them live in action, you know? Because as illustrated in previous videos, I like to use my body as a canvas to drive home the point of fitness. And also, you know, to demonstrate that I practice what I preach. I'm not just in shape sometimes, I'm in shape all the time. All right. Yep. You see that true transformative fitness chest bounce. So that's telling you it's time to get to business. So now, what we're about to demonstrate now, we're starting on my left side, which is the weak side. This is called the Thor's victory squat. So we're going to do 10 on each side. I'm starting on my left side, as explained earlier, keeping the tension on the muscle, but holding the Thor's hammer completely over top of my head, even though you can't see the whole hammer. I'm holding it up over top of my head and keeping my form and balance, and it's challenging my quads, it's challenging my back, it's challenging my core. It's just challenging you as a whole human being from the ground up, making you better. So now you see me switching to the right side, which is my stronger side, and I'm gonna get another set of 10 in, and we're pretty much gonna roll with 2 sets of this. This is to reiterate, this is the second movement for legs. The first was split squats, and now we're doing Thor's victory squat, 10 on each leg. And let me tell you, this is a very humbling exercise. It may look easy or look doable on camera, but yeah, if you give it a spin, I think that it may humble you to the point where you be like, oh yeah, that dude know what he's talking about. So as I recover, we're keeping rest at a minimum. 30 seconds. Minimum is like between 30 and 45 seconds, you know. And we're also keeping our form. Even though you're tired, you want to keep that posture. Holding that posture is going to engage that core like crazy, you know. So 10 on each leg, keeping the tension on the quads the whole time. And you see me grimacing in pain right now because this is the second set. um we're building up work capacity at this point. Now we're going to the strong side. Like I said, it should be downhill from here. Cranking them out with perfect posture. Ignore the facial expressions. That's me grinding through this pain. You understand? So as I finish this set, we're going to segue to the next exercise, which is going to run our heart rate up, which is the hammer swings. So it's similar to kettlebell swings, but we're using, due to the engineering of the hammer, it feels totally different. And you see, I'm getting a full stretch going behind me, and I'm coming up at core level with each repetition. Because coming up at core level, I'm activating my core. So now I'm showing you from the side so you can actually see the full range of motion that I'm preaching about right now. Full range of motion, we're doing sets of 20. Two sets of 20 repetitions. We're perfect form, and we're locking our glutes at the top of this movement. And at the end of this, your heart rate should be in the between 140 and 160, if not higher. Again, this workout is very fatiguing. Thor will blush at this workout himself. Yep. So as I'm getting myself together, we about to start this second set. You about to see the full range of motion, and this will be the last exercise for legs. So we basically did 3 different exercises for legs. That included the split squat, the Thor's victory squat, and now these hammer swings. I'm showing you from another angle once again. 20 repetitions, squeezing your glutes at the top of the movement, and making sure you keep it at good posture at all time. I demand it. All right, as you see, I'm segueing from exercise to exercise, not wasting any time. You know what I mean? Keeping the intensity high. This is how you keep the intensity high, by lowering your rest time in between sets. And when you do this, actually I lied. That's right. It is one more exercise. It's 4 exercises for the legs. Now we're doing this exercise is for the hamstrings and the glutes, and we're really just staying no diddy in between your legs. We're staying deep. The deeper you stay in between the legs, the more activation we're going to get out of the glutes and the hamstrings. All right. So we're doing sets of 20 repetitions, and I promise you, this is the last leg exercise because that's 4. Yep, that's 4. So that's one set out of the way. Resting minimally. I better be getting to work sooner than later, and we're gonna finish this out. And this is a dynamic movement. If you've never ever done this movement before, you need to try it. Especially my ladies who are trying to, build up those luscious glutes and bring shape and symmetry to that area of your physique. You definitely want to include this into your repertoire, your fitness repertoire. So as you see, I'm standing in the hole, stand deep in between my legs, no diddy. Um, you know, really savoring that contraction, of the hamstrings pulling and the glutes stretching within this movement. And this is another HB, which is short for heart buster. You know what I mean? This thing will run your heart rate up. And with your heart rate ran up, you're guaranteed that you're burning a significant amount of calories and you're trending towards being lean or staying lean. So now I'm about to segue into the next workout where we about to start working on that back. All right. So we got to keep that hammer flat for obvious reasons, because we've turned it in the other way around. You'll be hitting your back, or maybe if not, your face. So we want to have it flat like how I'm showing you and demonstrating, right? Perfect posture, showing you from every angle, and get to work, right? So the driving force is when it's in front, you driving it back behind us, in a stretch position to where you feel our core engaging every time we bring that hammer front to back to the front, front and back. So you get a stretch in your back right here where you see me driving it back, bam, bringing it forward, driving it back, bringing it forward, driving it back, bringing it forward. That movement alone, if you can see my core engaging, you can see the back lats working, you can see my shoulders. It's a phenomenal exercise, to say the least. And you get an excellent, excellent stretch. So you bring in total flexibility to that whole upper body. You know what I mean? Yeah. Again, I rested minimally, getting myself together. And before I'm even ready, I'm going to jump back into action because I want results. You know, I want results and I want to challenge myself. So there we go. We getting our 20 in. Check the form out. This should be running your heart rate up like crazy. And also filling that whole upper body with nutrient blood that's gonna fill you out and work out any kinks or any stiffness within that torso. So you want to keep your form as always, and keep your posture, form, posture, form. Always run that through your head. Like I tell a lot of my clients, like if you have a straight tree trunk, that tree is guaranteed to have even canopies within its branches. But one that's curving to the side is going to have uneven canopies. Those canopies represent your arms and legs. So with perfect posture, with your spine straight, you're going to get them results. So as you can see, I'm lining the hammer up with my forearm, and then we're getting into them back swings. So I'm starting with my left side. My left side is my weakest side. So that's the side I'm starting with. You can see the contraction independently and bilaterally in my back. You can see each side working independently from the other. You see what I mean? What other exercise can you get that with? Each side, because we always have a dominant side, but we just want to close that gap and bring that weaker side up further. It's never going to be as strong as the strong side, but we still need to prioritize that. See me lining up my forearm again with the hammer. See that? Make sure it's in line with my back, the muscles I'm targeting. And you can see the lats activating with each swing. And again, we're doing 10 on each side. 10 and 10 on each side, starting with your weak side. Keep informed, and you could brace yourself with the non-swinging arm. All right, here we go with my strong side. See how the lat is stretching when it's coming in, and it's spreading out when it's coming out. You can see the work. You can see the back activating the lats. And you can see my core bracing and holding my whole torso in place. So it's a phenomenal movement that's gonna run that heart rate up and bring change and adaptation, and cut body fat off that physique of yours. All right. So now we about to go into the third exercise for back, which is the hammer rows. Notice how I'm stretching the hammer from the floor at a certain angle. So I'm getting a dynamic stretch in my lats and my upper back, and I'm bringing it back with a violent contraction with each repetition. And we're going 10 on each side. And once again, I started off with my weak side, which is the left side. Here we go again, stretching it out, getting that good stretch. That stretch means everything. That stretch is going to keep you injury free, because with you stretching the muscle tissue like that within its cavity, you give it more room and more space to move around, and avoid getting pulled or injured. As you see that stretch, I'm showing you a lat spread. You see what I mean? Again, you see how narrow my back was, and then I'm stretching my lats, sort of like how I was performing that movement. And trainers tip too, that's good to stretch in between sets of the workout of the muscle group that you're targeting, because it builds that mind muscle connection, so you get a nice deep feel within that muscle tissue with each repetition. So you see me stretching that out, and savoring that contraction at the end part. Now we're going back to the strong side again, 2 sets, 10 repetitions on each side. And this should be the last movement for our back. And again, just to reiterate, you see that I'm resting very minimally. Running my heart rate. You see I'm sucking air right now, but I don't feel sorry for myself. Not one bit. Because I know what the mission is. Right? So now we're moving to shoulders. As you can see, we're getting full range of motion. And I'm going down on my knees, no diddy, so you can see the full range of motion, where I'm keeping the hammer lined up with the deltoid, and I'm going in a straight motion, keeping my elbow tucked in, making sure I have excellent proper form. And you can see the shoulders working, etc. See, these kind of movements, they translate into traditional movements too. When you go back to the dumbbells, barbells, etc., and machine presses, etc. So you see me going to the strong side now, knocking that strong side out, and we're doing 2 sets of 10 on each side, and we're resting minimally. Yeah, minimum rest. Make sure that you keep the intensity high. When you have a workout where the intensity is high, the workout is going to be shorter by nature. You're basically getting in and out of the gym. So we're running with our second set now. So while one side is resting, the other side is working. So that's why we're not resting at all in between sets. Holding myself in posture, you can see my a core working against that hammer in action. Yeah, now we move into the strong side once again to finish this portion of the shoulder workout out, because we got another movement after this, of course, because we want to build NFL shoulder pads for shoulders, man. So we got to knock at least two exercises for them shoulders, man. So now I'm starting with my left side. With that hammer lined up with my forearm, it's putting you in a position where you can only move the hammer in that manner, like at that angle, where it's kind of like a shrug slash uh, shoulder raise. You know what I mean? It's like a hybrid movement in a way. You know what I mean? It hits them deltoids. It actually hits the lateral head of the shoulders, and it hits them traps that you just see me pointing at. Phenomenal movement if you've never done it before. So we're doing 10. I'm sorry, no. We're doing 15, I believe. Yep, on each side. Yeah, we're going high repetitions with this. High repetitions for this, especially when we just finished doing the shoulder presses with the hammer. Yeah, 15 on each side. Making sure I'm keeping my torso tight and right. And then we're gonna move to the right side, our strong side, and then we're moving to the next body part. Yeah, finishing off strong like how we started. Finishing them. You see them shoulders popping. I got plenty of blood in them shoulders by now. Plenty of blood in them shoulders. And we're winding down. Yeah, as you see, I'm fatiguing. Anytime you resting on them knees, you already know fatigue is kicking in. So now I'm about to go grab this bench so we can start doing some incline hammer presses bilaterally. Bilaterally. So once again, we're gonna start off with the weak side, which is my left side. Whatever your weak side is, there are some lefties out there, you know. And we're gonna run with high repetitions with this exercise. We're gonna do 20 repetitions on each side, staying locked in while one side is resting, the other side is working. So we're gonna go back and forth until the 2 sets is over. And you're gonna push through that lactic acid buildup that you're gonna feel by the time we get to to the second repetition. I'm sorry, the second set of repetitions. Yeah. You see me keeping my elbow tucked in, making sure the hammer makes contact with my chest with every repetition. Making sure I get a full range of motion, bringing the hammer from touching my chest all the way out. So we get a full contraction, so we can get full chest development. That's assuming if you're chasing chest aesthetics. So you see I'm moving the hammer from one hand to the other without any rest at all, because again, while one side is working independently, the other side is resting. So it's no reason to rest both at the same time, especially when the object is to keep intensity high. So we want to keep the intensity high. Um, Moving to the strong side. I'm probably feeling it right now if you still sticking with me. Milking each repetition for full gains. All right? Because this is the only chest movement, direct chest movement that's in this workout for today. Even though there are other chest workouts I can do with the hammer, I'm just not releasing it in this particular workout. All right, so I got a nice chest pump. So now I'm moving the bench out of the way. And we're about to get to the next set of movements. The workout is winding down. If you're still following with me, if you're still hanging in there. So now we're about to hit that core. Starting with the left side, keeping that elbow tucked in tight. And we act like we swinging at a tree with this hammer. You know what I mean? That's going to tear your core a new one. You're going to feel it in your obliques, but just your core as a whole, because we got to hit each side with 10 repetitions independently, and we're not even going to rest. You know what I mean? Especially after the volume of work that we've already done thus far. So your core is work, because our core been working the whole workout, believe it or not. But this is kind of like direct core work, right? So while I'm getting myself together, because this is a very challenging movement. Matter of fact, this is one of the most challenging movements in this particular workout, next to Thor's victory squat. All right, so now we're going to the second set, tearing that core up, tearing that core up, tearing that core up. All right, showing you the full picture frame. I mean, it is working my core, but I mean, it's working everything, believe it or not. Chest, shoulders, arms, but the end of that movement where I'm stopping the hammer right there, your core is just like activating like none other. And it's not easy moving around 14 pounds like that, because remember, the majority of that 14 pounds is in the head of that object, you know. So now we about to work on these guns. And this is winding down the workout, because now we're down to the smallest muscle groups now. Keeping it tucked in, full range of motion, extending it out, and getting that good contraction at the top. Trying to manhandle Thor's hammer at this point, right? So I was on the left side, I got 10. The right side, I'm getting 10. And so we're going to go back and forth on each side until we get our 2 sets in. Making sure I pay attention to form and range of motion, milking each repetition for all that I can. You can't be lazy with this movement. Yes, fully stretch it out as you see that. This is a true hammer curl. This is a real hammer curl. This is second set. Going to that strong side. Going to that strong side. This movement also, you'll feel it in your forearms like crazy. It'll blow your forearms up, and of course those biceps. 2 sets of 10, and then we're gonna move to those triceps. There it is, the reverse hammer tricep kickback. As you can see, it's really stimulating my tricep. You can see the whole head working. You can see the whole head of that tricep working against that resistance of that the weight in that hammerhead. And I flipped it around like that because you get a dynamic contraction against all that weight that's in the hammerhead. and we going 10, 10 on each side without resting. Fully extend, lock that elbow in and extend it all the way out, right? You can see that tricep working feverishly. 10, 10, and then we done. 2 sets of 10. All right, going to the strong side, controlling the pace, not being sloppy about it. Even though this is the end of the workout, I'm still making sure that my form is superior because we don't want injury to come into play. So come get some. That's exactly what that means. It's done and over with. Hope you enjoyed it.